Hey, my name is cydnaide, but you can call me Cy, and welcome. And for those returning, I see you, boo. Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Director Kjun just posted his Friday response super early today, so, WK June. And I'm glad to announce that we finally got the high school update, and it's looking really good, mind you. I played it a little bit last night. You guys will get to see that video later on, either today or tomorrow. But yeah, I got my hands on it, and I enjoyed it for what I played, and that was like maybe about 40-50 minutes of me messing around with it. But yeah, of course they do have some hiccups that they'll have to eventually parse out, and I have to actually do a bug report. But they did do a hot fix early this morning, so that is crazy. They are really on it. Granted, it's more or less daytime / going towards evening when I post this, but they were on it with that hot fix because when I woke up this morning, they already had a hot fix, so they're working fast, I tell you. But anyway, I will also be covering a little bit of the Wednesday's post. I'm not going to read it out and post it up here on the screen. However, I will just go over I'm gonna summarize it basically. So yeah, because that was a lot of other stuff. There was a lot that he wrote, but it was mostly him apologizing and just letting the community know that they hear them, or they hear us rather, and that they are working on it. As once this update is fully out and everybody gets to play with it and mess with it, and they do their hot fixes, they're going to be working and putting all of their time and energy into improving and deepening systems. But besides the delays, it came through is all I'm gonna say. Now, for the Wednesday post, like I said, he was apologizing for the delays and giving his very valid reasoning behind them, and asking the community to be more mindful and understanding, because he's a human and sometimes life be happening, you know what I'm saying? Which I completely agree with. Sometimes people forget that other people have lives outside of their jobs and become very entitled when things don't go their way. Ugh. Again, those are outliers, mind you. They are outliers. They weren't the majority, and not everyone was saying anything. But the community did band together, in my opinion. They did to basically quell those people that were being just very entitled, and letting them to understand, getting people to understand that Kjun is a human being, and that to be lenient with him and the team, because they have been consistent with the updates and being transparent about things that's happened. Like, he didn't have to tell us that things happen in his IRL. Granted, he didn't go into detail, but he didn't have to tell us that. He could have just said, "Oh well, there was just a problem. We'll put it out." No, he specifically let us know that, hey, I'm a human being. Something in real life happened to me and to my family that I needed to go attend to. And honestly, some people probably see that as, well, why he gotta tell us that? He may be covering. No, I mean, what's the point? There's no point to tell you that real life got in the way. He could have just been very corporate about it and moved on, but he didn't. And I feel like that is very humanizing of what he did. So again, I commend him for speaking out, saying, hey, something happened in real life to me, and I would like for you guys to understand, even though I would like to have gotten y'all the update sooner, this happened. And aside from that, that wasn't even the main reason, other than the fact that he wasn't there at the office to, they had caught a game-breaking bug that caused the update to be delayed. So he was like, okay, I wasn't at the office to oversee everything, so we got delayed, but we're gonna be on it. It's coming out tomorrow. And then there was people that were sitting there getting upset about that. It was just so weird. But again, like I said, the community band together and just like, hey, y'all need to be mindful that this man does what he does, and he's good at what he does. However, he is still human. He is not a robot, and stuff happens. Be lenient. It's coming out. It's not a week later. They're not crickets on us. They are being very open and transparent. And W again for Kjun and his team, and W for the community that do stick up for the team, letting people remind them that these are human beings at the end of the day. So, but anyway, outside of the apology, he basically repeats the same thing, about the, from the post from last week and the week before last, that, they understand what the community wants, and that they're going to get that done in the next update after this one, specifically in the August one, he said. So I don't know about July, if it's going to have something for July, but they said that this is what they're going to be working on. Next is the Friday devlog update and video. So far the team is working hard on adding more cast items for men and women, such as sleepwear and undergarments, which I am so happy for because some of that stuff is really nice. I really like it, and I think some of it you can even use as just like regular shirts kind of situation. I don't know if the Zois would like pay attention to that, but speaking of that, they're also working on situational awareness for our Zois. So our Zois will be getting more situational awareness. So say for instance, your Zoi like drops something on the ground, other Zois could turn around and look to see what you dropped on the ground and either tell you to pick it up or call the cops on you for littering. You know, this is just me giving an example. I'm not saying that's how deep their awareness is going to be, but that's what they're working on as far as deepening personality systems and things like that. Because I think I brought this up a while back, is that when they were showing one particular video about Zois being aware of another Zoi's actions, I feel like based on personality, and a lot of us were saying based on personality, Zois should either call the cops if they see a Zoi doing something, you know, they shouldn't, or if that Zoi is malicious or something like that, that they will probably laugh and you know, run off or whatever like that, or, you know, root for them to do the thing that they're doing. They're also developing personalities and how those personalities interact with other Zois based on the situation, like I said earlier. And they're also doing more active mode interactions, i.e. like being able to kick balls and basically just being more active in what you're doing. I did see in the video that he was having one Zoi kind of kick the soccer ball, and it would be really good if they have this in the game so people can basically simulate playing soccer or football or something like that. But yeah, they're still looking into deepening systems and adding quality of life improvements still, despite the mod situation, or you know, adding script mods, so that players have more to dig into, which is exciting and clearly a good call with how they're going about it. Now, they're still committed to adding new content, but it'll be in the background while they layer current systems together. So again, they're stepping back from new content and deepening systems. I still personally believe or like that how they were doing things. However, by them shifting to make, you know, what we have more interconnected and more seamless, I can't really complain, because more cohesive gameplay should definitely take top priority. Like at the end of the day, what we get should be able to link together and make it fun for us to play and to have a fun gameplay loop. I'm just going to go over quickly what he had to say, and then we're going to get right into the video because, you know, I yap way too much. Like I stay yapping, yap. Hello everyone, this is Kjun. I'm posting this a little earlier than usual after finishing the update. I want to leave this message because I feel sorry that we released the update before fully stabilizing the base game. Strangely, the more we continue development, the more issues we seem to discover. RIP Kjun. Still, we are learning little by little, and although I feel heavy-hearted, we are continuing development with hope. And he has a little sad side cape. I know very well that many of you have been patiently waiting for improvements. Starting next week, we will focus on only fixing issues in the base game and strengthening the connection between existing content. Yes! For the next update, our goal is to make the features we have already developed connect more naturally with each other so that inZOI can feel more like real life. Yes. We are approaching this problem in two main ways. The first is through better numerical control. This means improving the interval values, priorities, and conditions that affect character behavior, needs, schedules, and overall simulation flow. Now, this is very dev talk right here. I have no idea about coding and numbers, so very dev talk. Anyway, the second is by adding active situation control features. We want to give players better ways to understand, guide, and manage what is happening in the game, so the simulation feels more connected and intentional. Once again, I'm sorry that this build still did not achieve the most important goals, the stability of the base game and the depth of simulation. However, I hope you continue to trust that the inZOI team is listening to your feedback, improving from it, and growing through the process. There is a saying that it is always darkest before dawn. Although the inZOI team still has many shortcomings, I believe that if we keep working sincerely and consistently, we will eventually reach the game we are aiming for. I'm sharing today's video a little earlier because I was worried I might forget again. Whoop. In the video, we also wanted to show one possible direction. Actually, no. That his forgetfulness was not of his own volition. It was purely because of something that happened in IRL. Bless his humble man, bless his little humble soul, because good Lord, he takes accountability for stuff that's outside of his control. Goodness. But anyway, In the video, we also wanted to show some possible direction. If some of the areas where we are still lacking can be improved more easily and quickly through mods, perhaps the community could help expand the game in ways that are difficult for us to address immediately. We are curious whether this kind of approach would be satisfying to you as well. Please share your thoughts with us. Thank you, Kjun. So again, like I said, I'm not a modder, so by any means. So this is all for you modding babes out there, modding boobs. But I'm not a mod. I just play with them and put them in my game. But yeah, like he said, like if mods, you feel like mods can like bridge a gap that they have left open, and you feel like they can, if the mod can do that, then by any means do it. And they're actually encouraging it, and then went on to say that they will eventually later on apply that with their own fix in implementing it in the game, so people wouldn't have to keep updating their mods when they do updates and stuff, and therefore probably would hit that modder up and ask them how they managed to do it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, let's just get right into the video that he posted, and then we'll dissect it.
Hi everyone, glad to be back with you again. How are you finding the latest update? It always means a lot to us to see you having fun playing inZOI, and we truly appreciate all the comments and support you've sent our way. Now, I'd like to show you a little of what we've been working on. These are all things we've prepared by carefully listening to the feedback you've shared with us. Some of them you might be able to try relatively soon, while others could take a bit more time. So let's get right into it. First, many of you gave us comments about clothing customization. As part of that, we're working on adding a variety of new undergarments. We're preparing several different types for both men and women, so you'll have a richer set of options when styling your characters. Let me know in the comments which styles you'd like to see more of. Next, let's talk about the ZOIs themselves. We're exploring and testing a number of different approaches to make the ZOI's behavior feel even more natural. As part of that, we're developing ways for ZOIs to act appropriately depending on the time, the place, and the situation. The same ZOI will behave more naturally based on the environment they're placed in. Additionally, in this update, ZOI's reactions to infidelity now vary depending on the ZOI's traits. Even in the same situation, the reaction will differ based on the kind of personality a ZOI has, so your ZOIs should feel even more distinct and full of character. It's still a work in progress, but we'll keep developing it so that your ZOIs feel more lifelike and alive. If you discover any interesting reactions while playing, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Next, I wanted to mention active interactions as well. We're working on refining the shortcut layout and building out deeper content connections, and we plan to share this separately once we've polished it a bit more. We're preparing to bring you more intuitive and richer interactions, so please look forward to it. And last, I'd like to show you a little bit of modding related to building as well. This video shows how we try to make non-uniform scaling and free placement possible through modding, things that have been difficult to achieve in our game's build mode until now. The truth is, we don't yet have the capacity to develop every one of your thoughtful and valued requests ourselves, and many of them would take a great deal of time. So I'm really curious to hear what you think about offering features this way, through modding. Please share your honest thoughts in the comments. What did you think of today's video? Which feature excited you the most? And what are some things we can do to make any of these even better? Share all your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you again for watching today's video. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.
Okay, so I've paused the video and I've muted it, so now we're going to unpause it and go into everything that was shown. Now, they do have this in the game already, with the football and tossing it back and forth, but he just goes over his over everything. Okay, I would like to say, doesn't he sound very German in this one? I don't know. It's like his accent's giving kind of German a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, I love these options here. Yes, give us more options for nightwear. So very cute. And I like how they gave the men briefs and tidy whities, and then these loose briefs, because men do need more, I would say, in this in the cast. Now, this right here, I love. Now, this is basically situational right here. As you can see, she made food and her family came to eat without her necessarily telling them. She's doing it again here, where she cooks the food, she sets it, and then he comes in, sees the food, and go, ooh, I want to go eat. And then he puts the dirty bottle right beside it. Oh, now this is another situational situation where these two cheat and she sees it and she's like flipping out. Based on her personality, she's like either angry outright, like screaming, or just looking like, you no good son of a sod. And I'm guessing he's trying to like make it up, but this is one of the active things right here. This is about active. I love how bro has a carrot. Who you beating with a carrot? Bugs Bunny? Where did you get that carrot? And why is that carrot so big? Bro is finna beat somebody's butt with that carrot. Crazy. And she's finna throw her school lunch. Girl, ain't no way. That lunch looks delicious and you throwing it. I love this right here. Imagine being able to do, with the active mode, being able to actually do different kinds of sports and you have to move your Zoi around. And if you didn't want to necessarily move them around, they'll do like a pre-coded situation where, depending on the active levels or like athleticism of your Zois, like the active level of their activeness, I guess that makes sense, or their fitness level would determine how the game will go. Or, they could do hidden skills, like if you're like hitting a hidden athletic person, and and you have a high athletic skill as well, along with that hidden trait, and you just be dominating. Because some people are just like that; they just built different. But again, we have to see. Maybe there'll be something that a mod will come through for, or something of the like. Now, this right here, I would love to. Now, what this is showing though, to me, seems less like it's moving it out like more than one person can be on this piano, if that makes sense. It's more like it's just like for a show versus it actually being something that a Zoi could use in its current state. And it looks natural. So I guess they would have to tweak around with it to see how they make that work. But it's still very nice to see that they are looking at this as a option through mods until they can actually fully implement it into the game. And he even says that it took a while, but they finally got to a point where they can kind of do this in build mode, thanks to the Unreal Engine update and stuff like that. So they have been tinkering around with it and hoping that maybe modders can kind of fill in the gaps until they can actively do something about it. Again, we'll just have to continue to see how they're going to make this work, because I would love this. And then and he just goes into asking us, as a community, and specifically the modding community, what how they feel about doing that with them and so forth. But yeah, like I'm excited to see where this game goes as far as for what it is. Not saying that it will just eclipse all other games, but it will be that it's giving 5M, it's giving all those different games that have like so much different possibilities, and it's built by a community besides just the main devs. A game built by the community is a game that will live long. It's kind of like the whole situation with Skyrim in a way. Like the devs gave us all these wonderful things at Skyrim, but the modding community is what kept Skyrim on the map for as long as it's been. And same thing for Sims 4. Like, let's just be honest. Sims 4 would not have stayed relevant if it weren't for mod. For a lot of people, myself included. If the mods are the only reason why you play a game and you cannot play it in vanilla mode without it, the game has failed its whole thing, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about other games and stuff. We're talking about inZOI. And in inZOI case, I don't really need mods in there, to be honest. Like, would I like some quality of life improvements? Yes, I would love to put some quality of life improvement stuff in here that they'll eventually put in the game. However, I don't feel like I need those to enjoy the game. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just glad that the team, despite the shift in the direction, they are still sticking to, their principles and what they're going to do for the game, as far as, making it a game that everybody enjoys off the base, and everything else is just flourish. So, again, Kjun and his team for, giving us at least, the very least, the basics of things, and then we'll add later on with either DLCs, or if they decide it needs refinement, they'll add refinement during early access or even after early access. But anyway, let me go down in the comment section. What do you guys feel about, this week's not only just this week's update from Wednesday and today, but even how y'all feel about the high school update. Like, let me know down in the comment section what you're doing so far. I messed around with the first person view. I love it. I'm not gonna say a lot of you guys don't realize just how teed up I am about messing with first person view and getting into some shenanigans. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys are going to be doing in the update, and some fresh ideas that I could do even on my channel. Let me know in the comment section. Ooh. Anyways, and like always, if you like my content and want to support your girl, leave a like, comment, or subscribe for more videos like these where I cover most Wednesday and Friday devlog posts. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.